listeners. Welcome to Pleasure Principles, the podcast where we delve into the art of intimacy, connection, and unlocking your deepest desires. I'm your host, Sana, and today's episode is a runner's dream, and perhaps a lover's too. We're joined by our guest, Victor Vizcaino, a transformational marathon coach who has mastered the art of tying physical endurance to emotional depth. With his holistic approach to marathon training, Victor doesn't just help people cross the finish line, he helps them transform their lives, relationships, and even their sensuality. So, lace up, get ready, and let's explore how fitness and running can fuel your relationships and fire up your intimacy. So, Victor, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Victor, how has your journey into running and marathon training revealed a connection between physical fitness and enhancing relationships?
I think the most obvious way is running because it's so challenging and because you spend so much time with yourself, you
Mhm.
start to build a relationship with yourself. And I think that is the way that it really starts to transfer into relationship with others, with
Mm.
your partners or even people in your family, not just your love life, but and the other one is just that you start to feel so much better, and the better you feel, the better um, you are able to connect with other people.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes
And
sense.
I have with my kind of training is first is to get in good condition, start to train it. A lot of my clients will go try to train for a marathon, and that's where I started my journey in running was registering for a marathon. Mm,
Mm.
And the first things, of course, is once you start getting in shape, feeling better, a little bit more confident,
Yeah.
and also in the transformation part with the mindset, we do a lot of gratitude practice, uh,
Mm.
doing a lot of meditative practice that you can do while you're running, what to focus on. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those things just make people feel better when they're doing them. And I've just heard so many people have,
Mm-hmm.
really transfer those benefits to their relationships.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. So, uh, Victor, marathon training, it builds discipline and resilience as well, endurance, resilience. How do you see these qualities translating into something as emotional, physical, delicate dynamics of romantic relationships?
You mean besides or also romantic relationships?
Yeah, also romantic relationships.
Yeah, I think because all of disciplines can kind of transfer into your relationship, but because marathons push those limits, it really has to, um, especially for a marathon, when someone is taking on the commitment to register for a marathon and signs up for the training, they're going to be doing a lot of uh, workouts, a lot of commitments, which is a lot of the things that you need for a relationship. You need that um, mindfulness. You need to learn to pay attention, direct your attention, have all the things that are required to have a relationship, a good relationship. You are going to need them with your marathon training and vice versa. Especially I think your ability to direct your attention and be mindful, because when you do go on a run with intentions of bettering your life, of making some improvements, not just physical, but also in other areas of your life, then I
Mhm.
feel that it just amplifies everything. If um, w- anytime I'm having a problem, I usually take it out on a run. And when I take it on a run, I'm more likely to come up with solutions
Mhm.
and better understanding. So I think that's happened to me as well when I've had troubles in my relationship and I'm going out on a run. Um, I start to figure out what is it that is bothering me or why it's bothering me and what is the best way that I can solve that. Mm, there are times I'm just yeah, I think you start to direct your attention to where it's needed.
Got it. Got it. Also, Victor, running is often seen as a solo endeavor. As you mentioned that, oftentimes you run just to get centered and get mindful about, the problems you're having, and then, becoming more mindful about the solutions as well. So, how do you reconcile the solitary nature of running as a sport with the idea of using it to strengthen partnerships and intimacy?
I think that one way to do that is to listen to something like this, for example. I've been on runs where I listen to podcasts, and if that is on your mind that you want to strengthen for whatever reason, it's on your mind that you need to strengthen your relationship or your romantic relationship, then you go out with that intention before the running and if one of the choices you have is to listen to a podcast like this. You guys are always talking about
Yes.
how to do that. So, and what running does when you're or probably any kind of physical activity, but because you're using your body in such a way that all those endorphins, all the blood flow to all the areas of your brain and your heart and all of that. So when you go with that intention and you listen to something that you know is going to benefit your relationship,
Yeah.
then I think it's just that much more powerful. And you come up with the exact things that you need to do in your own relationship, or even maybe just a change your perspective of whatever it is that you're dealing or your perspective of the relationship. If you're having a problem, maybe it's something that you need to deal with, but it also may change the perspective on which you are seeing the problem in a much better way because both you're running, you're listening to something that's helpful, you listen to experts about relationships, and you tie those two together, and you have some really good solutions or outcomes.
Right. That's right. Also, do you encourage couples to engage in physical activities like running together? Because I believe that it's a great way to reconnect with your partner as well as that too in a very very healthy outdoor environment. So, if you agree with this, how does it affect their bond?
I think that really can really benefit the relationship to go together for runs. Mm. And you don't have to run the whole time together because sometimes one person may be running at a certain pace where the other one may be slower or somebody faster, but you can always start together and then meet up afterward. Start together, do some with your warm up. You can talk. Um, and it doesn't, at that point, it doesn't even have to be running. You can start with just walking together, which
Mm,
is really beneficial. You are combining your body movement with
yes.
bonding, with communication. And, and then again, it's a habit that you can start implementing in your life. And therefore, if you make it a habit of running together or at least getting together to go for the walk, start doing those conversations, then that's going to build your intimacy. It's going to build your connection with your romantic partner.
Yep. Yeah. Lovely, lovely. Also, can the heightened physical awareness and the mindfulness endurance developed through running translate into enhancing sensual pleasure and connection with a partner?
I believe so. It definitely has for me because you just feel so much healthier there. Everything starts to run so much more efficient. The blood flow to your bodies, and that's just another area that it's gets great benefits from it. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I started running, not only was that pleasure better, but all the other things too, because you feel better. My digestive system's better.
Mm-hmm.
My cardiovascular is better, and so yes, I think 100% you're going to enjoy uh, that part as well.
Mm, interesting. And marathon running, it requires pushing through mental and emotional barriers. So also, how can this practice of emotional endurance be applied to navigating challenges or those tough moments in relationships, and fostering deeper connection or maybe intimacy?
Yeah, I think back to the intentions when we're running, and because you're getting really good at directing your mind and that evidence you have that, okay, I've been through this, I was able to get through the marathon,
Yeah.
and the relationship, whatever you're going through, also can you get to start to have that confidence that you're going to get through this. And if you need to become vulnerable and find out, go deep
Mm.
into what is exactly the emotions that you're feeling, and can you share them with your partner. And I think that's where the growth happens. When you're able to identify exactly what is the root cause of your own emotions,
Mm.
if you're going through some really tough times. And I think when we run, those things do come because you really get in touch with your body, and then you have that connection of your mind, body, and soul. And it does help you with emotional challenges that you're going through with your romantic partner.
Yeah, yeah. Great, great. So before we wrap up, Victor, if our listeners they wish to connect with you, to explore more about this connection between uh, you know physical fitness and emotional intimacy, connection with their partners in their relationships, how they can connect with you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They can go to eymcoaching.com and go to my website and download the free training plan. And there's a few resources there, or they can book a call as well with me, and we can have a session and get them started with a training plan.
Mm.
The other part, they can, I'm also on other social medias like Instagram at EYM Coaching USA, and
Mhm.
on Facebook. They can just type my name and find me there, and they can also send me a Insta message. They can communicate that way as well.
Great. We'll have all the details mentioned in the show notes for our listeners. And Victor, thank you for taking us on this invigorating journey into the intersection of fitness, intimacy, and also personal transformation. And, really appreciate what you are doing through your endeavors, and also for sharing your story, your insights on how marathon training can actually strengthen not just our bodies but also our relationships. So, thank you so much for your insights.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor.
Listeners, remember, whether it's the discipline of a daily run or the joy of connecting more deeply with your partner, Every step matters. If today's conversation has sparked something in you, don't forget to share it, subscribe, and leave us a review. It helps us bring more empowering stories like this your way. And also make sure to connect with Victor. You'll have all the details mentioned in the show notes along with this episode. Until next time, stay active, stay mindful, and as always, stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you.